and welcome the January 13th. Happy New Year and welcome. The January 13th, 2026 meeting of the Monroe County Legislature will now come to order. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Ms. Barnhart. Ms. Barnhart is present. Ms. Bartholomew McCoy. Ms. Bartholomew McCoy is present. Mr. Baynes. Mr. Baynes is present. Mr. Blankley. Mr. Blankley is present. Ms. Bonnick.
Here.
Ms. Bonnick is present. Mr. Burgess. Mr. Burgess is present. Mr. Chardy. Mr. Chardy is present. Mr. Colby. Mr. Colby is present. Mr. Cruz.
Presente.
Mr. Cruz is present. Ms. Delvecchio Hoffman. Ms. Delvecchio Hoffman is present. Mr. Dondorfer. Mr. Dondorfer is present. Mr. Frazier. Mr. Frazier is present. Ms. Hasman. Ms. Hasman is present. Ms. Hughes-Smith.
Here.
Ms. Hughes-Smith is present. Dr. Jeffrey.
Here.
Dr. Jeffrey is present. Mr. Johns. Mr. Johns is present. Mr. Keller. Mr. Keller is present. Mr. Long. Mr. Long is present. Mr. Maffucci.
Here.
Mr. Maffucci is present. Mr. McCabe. Mr. McCabe is present. Ms. McIntyre. Ms. McIntyre is present. Mr. Milne. Mr. Milne is present. Mr. Morris. Mr. Morris is present. President Román.
Here.
President Román is present. Mr. Sinclair. Mr. Sinclair is present. Ms. Smith. Ms. Smith is present. Mr. Stefferson.
Here.
Mr. Stefferson is present. Ms. Vasquez Simmons.
Here.
Ms. Vasquez Simmons is present. Mr. Udelson. Mr. Udelson is present.
Okay, thank you. We are now moving to administering the oath of office. Today marks an important moment. One, not only for the two individuals who are about to swear in, but for all of us as a governing body. It marks the continuation of collaboration for the sake of the communities who have placed their trust in each one of us. Serving the Monroe County Legislature is both an honor and a responsibility. It means showing up for your neighbors, listening with intention, and doing the work necessary to move our community forward. The decisions made in these chambers have a real impact on the lives of our constituents. To our newest legislators, congratulations. You were elected because your communities believed in your leadership and your commitment to public service. We are grateful that you answered the call to serve, and we look forward to working alongside you in Monroe County. And before I move into the oath of office, I'd like to congratulate Republican Minority Leader Sean McCabe on his new role as leader of the Minority Caucus. Congratulations. With that being said, will legislators from District 3, Marv Stefferson, and District 12, Dr. Nazish Jeffries, please stand as I administer your oath. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I do solemnly swear that I state your name, will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of Monroe County Legislator according to the best of my ability. So help me God. Congratulations. Woo-hoo. All right. I'd also like to introduce Dr. Peter Grinion of West Henrietta Baptist Church, who has been invited by Legislator Rose Bonnick to lead us in a moment of prayer. Pastor, welcome.
Thank you. The Honorable Yversha, Román, and the members of the county legislature. Thank you for the opportunity to offer prayer this evening at your first meeting for the new year. I'm a resident of West Henrietta.
Yeah, you do not get to call a point of order from the gallery, and another distraction from you will have you removed from the gallery, sir. Thank you very much. My apologies, Pastor. Please continue.
And so I appreciate the opportunity to lead you in prayer and appreciate your service and the time you dedicate to your community. Let us pray. Gracious God, source of our strength, wisdom, and hope, we give you thanks for the beginning of a new year and for the opportunity to serve our communities. We're grateful for the privilege of public service and the trust placed in us by the people of this county. Oh God, I'm so grateful for the trust placed in these leaders and the dedication of all who work on behalf of the people of this county. As we enter this new year, grant this legislature clarity of thought, integrity of purpose, and a spirit of cooperation. May decisions made in this chamber be guided by wisdom, clarity of those who speak, patience and respect to all who listen, fairness and compassion, always seeking the common good and well-being of all residents, especially the most vulnerable. Oh God, give strength and patience in times of trouble and challenge, humility in times of success, and courage to do what is right, even when it is difficult. Help these leaders to listen deeply, speak thoughtfully, and work together with respect despite differences. May this year be marked by progress, peace, and common good of the community they represent. Oh God, I ask again your blessing upon this body, upon our county and its residents, and upon all who labor for the public good. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much. Pastor, I do have a certificate on behalf of the legislature. We truly do appreciate you being here. There you go. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for the patience, right? Okay, thank you very much. And we will now please stand as Legislator Udelson will now lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. Your copies of day 12, December 9th, 2025 are available through Novus Agenda. Without exception, this journal will stand approved as submitted. The referrals submitted to the legislature for the next committee cycle are also available on Novus Agenda as well as online. And due to construction, there are no proclamations scheduled this evening. There are also no formal reports from committees scheduled for this evening. And we'll now hold the public forum. Thank you to everyone who has signed up for the public forum. We ask that everyone maintain decorum during this time. We will not tolerate any disruptions during this meeting from the gallery. And a second warning will be issued as a deputy will be asked to remove you from the gallery. We have several people registered to address the legislature Mr. Clerk.
If you require assistance, a deputy is available to assist you in approaching the lectern. I will call 3 people forward at one time. Each speaker will have 2 minutes in which to address the legislature. Please do not bring up any signs or props. Do not single out any legislators. Please conclude when the buzzer sounds. Thank you for your cooperation. Our first 3 speakers are Paul Farcella, Mary Hamlin, and Scott Davis.
Thank you.
Global warming is causing trouble, but over the extreme long-term future, ice ages likely will occur again, followed by the sun becoming a red giant that will evaporate the oceans and heat up Earth hotter than Venus is today. Hence, man must get off of the Earth and colonize deep space, taking everything he needs for the journey. 2 possibilities exist. Find a new Earth-like planet or adapt to living permanently in spaceships that supply all needed, including artificial gravity. In several million years, the entire Milky Way galaxy could be colonized. If man settles on another planet, he must bring everything and grow everything and bring it all with him. Any food from another planet is likely non-existent or toxic. Man must be wary of other intelligent life outside Earth, for it is likely hostile and would not understand us. We must begin on this now and not stall.
Thank you. Welcome.
Good evening. I'm Mary Hamlin of Perinton, part of the group who was working to encourage Bello Airlines to stop deportation flights with Homeland Security. We'd like to thank those of you who have met with us, supported us, and pointed us toward the correct influencers. We'd now like to focus on other collaborators with state violence. Deporting individuals without due process for profit is human trafficking. Detaining people without due process or access to their families, lawyers, and basic human necessities is not only illegal, but frighteningly cruel. I may be more frightened than the average parent because my beautiful young adult daughters were adopted from China when they were children. They now face the very real possibility of kidnapping by masked, unidentified federal agents who whisk people of color off the sidewalks in front of schools and businesses to meet arrest quotas. They pocket their ID and call them fake. This happened to Maria Greeley, a Latina adoptee in Chicago, who ICE agents insisted did not look like her U.S. passport or the name on her U.S. passport. Detainees can be transported to detention centers far from home without a phone call to anyone. You've probably seen photos and heard accounts of chain link cages with appalling conditions and withheld food, water, and medication. I can only imagine my daughter's terror in the face of this trauma. What can we do to mitigate this danger? We must fight to ensure that none of our local law enforcement agencies are complicit in human trafficking of New York residents. The county sheriff's office and employees must not offer support to ICE or CPB agents sweeping up our residents. And local police and district attorneys need to hold federal officers accountable when they break the law and violate civil rights. We should bar ICE from using city and county facilities, and maybe even make Monroe County a sanctuary county. I hope we can count on you as our elected representatives to support such measures. Thanks.
Thank you.
Our next 2 speakers are Kevin Yost and Kevin Lockhart.
Welcome, and I'm sorry, Kevin Yost, before you begin, I just want to remind everyone that it is an absolute right to speak, but it's not a right to distract and disturb the meeting. So, thank you very much.
Thank you, Madam President. My name is Kevin Yost, 1474 Middle Road in town Henrietta. Good evening. First off, I would like to encourage the county to include a New York State flag, innovative field with the U.S. flag, the Monroe County flag, and the POWMI flag over the advertisement that says baldness.com. So long as the flag on the far right of the third base line outfield, the second base line outfield doesn't block the town and country pest solutions sign on the one light pole there. And then second of all, which I would like to which I hope to speak before the city council in a week and a half, as I'm scheduled to registered as that innovative field, which is currently run by the county and the Blue Cross Arena, the War Memorial, the Florida Convention Center, which are owned and operated by the city, that they instead be operated by an authority, a representative from the state governor's office of the state assembly, a state senate, either one representative from the county or one representative from city or representative of the county executive, the county legislature, the city mayor, the city council, 5 to 7 board members, as 3 people operating it. The authority that previously ran innovative field was not enough. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Kevin Lockhart, a constituent and aggrieved party, here to alert this legislature and administration that you are not faithfully discharging your duties. The arrival of Border Patrol Commander Greg Bovino will draw extremists from all 50 states. Some of you are willing to exploit tensions to deflect scrutiny from your nonprofits, including the Somalian daycare at 803 South Plymouth Ave, which President Trump is cutting funding to, which will only exacerbate your desperation. Any rhetoric or conduct that encourages mob action, vigilantism, or extrajudicial enforcement is reckless and creates preventable harm and may result in an investigation. Prior failures to uphold the rule of law and defend enforcement of our nation's laws have produced local victims, including Fazia Muhammad and Henrietta, who was stabbed by her brother 11 times, and the murders of Sebastian and Evangeline, 2 and 4 years old, and Reniquate, both who suffered at the hands of criminal illegal aliens. Just this week, Alex Wade Morbido, along with Jason Greco, publicly advocated death against ICE, explicitly citing statements issued by County Executive Adam Bello as their breaking point. Whereas this body has failed to maintain order, I have intervened to preserve peace, and as a result have been subjected to threats, bounty, and real violence. Continued inaction, or strategic silence presents a clear danger and may require further investigation and formal legal remedies to prevent avoidable harm. In other words, tread very carefully when it comes to responding to these lunatics who come in here and demand that you abide by their demands and what they want from you. Because if you guys do not tread carefully, it is going to result in more violence to protesters who are psychotic, in a deranged mental state. They're speaking out today, which is perfectly fine. But if you think that you're going to entertain them for a moment, and I'm not going to come in here and throw a huge fuss, you can think again. Thank you.
This concludes the public forum.
Thank you. We will now proceed with the consideration of local laws. Will the clerk please read the first item on the agenda?
Madam President.
Yep. They can be moved.
Madam President. Madam President, I move that we consider the agenda. Madam President, I can move that we consider the agenda as a whole, with the exception of items number 64 and 65 and the MOUs number 71 through 74 inclusive.
Moved by legislator Udelson, seconded by legislator McCabe.
Any discussion?
Is there any discussion? Yes, legislator Long.
Madam President, I'd like to declare my interest on item number 62, referral 250434.
Okay, any other discussion? Yep, legislator Hassan? No problem. Any other discussion? Okay, those are noted.
You said item 62, right? Okay, got it.
Those are noted. We're gonna vote on the motion
Claire's interest.
to move the agenda as a whole.
Yep, vote.
I'm sorry,
All in favor?
all in favor, yeah. All in favor? Any opposed? Item carries. We are on to
Item number 64.
item number 64.
Referral 25-0436, amending 2026-2031 capital improvement program to add a project entitled probation body worn cameras and less than lethal devices.
Second.
Moved by legislator Long, seconded by legislator Maffucci. Is there any discussion? Legislator Barnhart.
Yes, thank you. Through the president to the administration, first, thank you for providing the draft policy regarding the body worn cameras for probation officers. Just had a couple clarifying questions. Has this policy been shared with the union, and did the union play any role in crafting the policy for the probation officers?
Through the President, Richard Chantella, Director of Public Safety, yes.
Use
the union has
the microphone.
closer.
Or louder.
Through the President, the union has been involved with the process for the general order or policy.
Thank you. Through the president to the administration, there was some discussion in my caucus. So I just want to ask a clarifying question. The way I read the policy, I'm sorry?
Point of order.
Oh, I am happy to do so.
Thank you.
Here you go. Go ahead.
I have a lot to say, so I will do that. Through the president to the administration, a clarifying question, because of some discussion in the caucus. The way I read the policy is that if a probationer is disclosing something very personal, the probation officer does not have the discretion to turn off the camera. Is my interpretation correct on that?
Through the President, if I just can ask for a point of clarification. So the question is, if a probation officer is disclosing something?
If the probationer, the person under supervision, I'm asking if there is discretion, what kinds of discretion there is in homes and workplaces when probationers are discussing sensitive topics.
Through the President, the policy right now is in draft form. But at this particular time, we would maintain the camera be on. And then it would be up for review for us to consider whether that's something that should be documented or not.
Thank you. Through the president to the administration, would you consider the 30 cameras a pilot program and that you do anticipate in the future coming to us asking for more cameras?
Through the President, At this time, we feel as though that the 30 cameras will be sufficient as they will be utilized by all of the staff in a rotation effort. We don't anticipate having to increase that. Although obviously, depending upon circumstances, that may happen, but that's not part of our plan.
Through the president to the administration during the planning board meeting, Assistant Public Safety Director George Markert said the reason you're only getting 30 is because you were limited by funding. So that's why I asked the question. Do you have any reaction to that, or am I misinterpreting what he said?
Through the president, we don't anticipate an increase. I wasn't at the meeting when the assistant director made that statement. But obviously, as we know through our experiences in government and providing services, that's always subject to a possible change based upon the need and the desire to move forward in a different direction.
One final question, and then I'll explain my vote. Through the president to the administration, these cameras, you're saying you're going to cycle them through all probation officers. So they're not going to exclusively be used by officers who are armed and in high-risk situations?
Through the president, the cameras in question are going to be used by those probation officers that are out in the field. And we certainly can articulate the fact that puts them in some risk and danger. There's no reason for the camera to be in the office and on.
Sure. Okay. I'd like to explain my vote. Thank you so much for answering my questions and providing that draft policy. Through this resolution, we learned about two big policy decisions by the Public Safety Department that impact probation and community supervision. First, we learned that the department will be, pending our approval, will be equipping probation officers with body-worn cameras, a small group of them. There are about 140 officers, and there are 30 cameras that will be shared. We also learned during the vetting of this proposal at the planning board that a decision had been made that all new officers will be required to carry firearms. Right now, about 80 do. Now, in all other parts of this country, a Google News search will tell you, body-worn cameras for probation officers and arming all probation officers, those are controversial decisions. Those are decisions that typically have either a legislature vote and or public input and discussion. I could not let this pass without explaining why these things are controversial. First, body-worn cameras. There is a lot of literature out there about police and body-worn cameras. It is an accepted part of policing. It is a public expectation that we have body-worn cameras, and police officers now support body-worn cameras because they help them for the most part. But there's not a lot of literature out there on community supervision and body-worn cameras because it's a very different thing. The referral that we got equates the risk of policing and community supervision. There is risk for community supervision, but there's absolutely no data showing that it is the same risk because it's not. The relationships between probation officers and the people they supervise are fundamentally different and take place in different settings than police officers when they're out in the field patrolling. And the likelihood of use of force is different as well. But those relationships, and it's in the job description of a probation officer on the New York State website, that the job description of a probation officer does involve case management, referrals, talking about mental health sometimes, very personal things. And sometimes those conversations, those field conversations where the cameras will be used, sometimes those conversations take place in homes where there's other people and in workplaces where there's other people. And we just heard they're not allowed to turn off their cameras. And just so you know, Our PD officers and Monroe County Sheriff's officers have more discretion to turn off their cameras in sensitive situations than our probation officers will. And I think that's a problem. I have very, very serious privacy concerns about the use of these cameras. Now, but then we get into the whole firearms thing, which is related because there's an expectation among the public that if you're carrying a weapon and you're out there and you could use that weapon, that you have a camera. And I get it. That's an important accountability tool. So I support officers carrying guns, having the cameras, but we're only buying 30 of them and we're about to arm the whole department. So I think that this wasn't well thought out. And I want to make that point. I will be voting yes, only because these officers are armed and they're going into high-risk situations. And I think it's appropriate. But my ask is, and you said it's a draft policy. So my ask is, see how this goes, get feedback from officers, and adjust the policy. I think you are going to come back to us and ask for more cameras if you like the way this is going. And that will be an opportunity to revisit this. I wish you the best of luck with the implementation of this. I have a lot of concerns. I hope you listen to your officers and listen to community feedback about how it's going, because this policy, I think, really does need some work. So thank you very much, and I will be voting yes.
Thank you. Legislator Cruz.
Thank you, Madam President. To you, Madam President, to the administration, first of all, I would like to thank the administration for taking the right step in the right direction, providing the citizens of the Monroe County with accountability through this camera project. I just have some very simple and quick questions. I see that we're making a purchase of 30 units. How many tasers in total are we purchasing, and how many cameras in total are we purchasing? Is it 30 of each?
Through the president, the total number of cameras to be purchased at this time is 30.
How many tasers will be purchased? Through you, Madam Chair, to the administration.
Through the president, at this particular time, our goal is to purchase 30 tasers so that we can equip additional officers with that less than lethal force. And of course, we'll continue to evaluate as we move forward.
Thank you. Through you, Madam President, to the administration, do we have a cost per unit for the tasers?
Through the president, I don't have that number, but I certainly can get you that.
Thank you very much. Moving forward, seeing how, through you, Madam President, to the administration, seeing how the cameras are going to be shared with the officers, I assume that there's going to be some sort of policy on the downloading of the information. How does that exactly work? At the end of the shift, do they have a memory card that they put into a system?
Through the president, right, when a probation officer completes their shift, if you will, that data will be downloaded into our record system, and it will be cleaned before it's reassigned to another probation officer.
Thank you. Through you, Madam Chair, to the administration, is this a automatic process the camera does by its own, or is the officer responsible to do this process?
Through the president and legislator, I'm sorry, I missed the beginning of your question. Could you repeat that, please?
Yes, sir. To you, Madam President, to the administration, is the officer responsible for making sure that the process of downloading said information into the set system, is that the responsibility of the officer, or does the camera itself, does it download automatically?
Through the president, the officer will have to obviously put it in the platform so the data can be extracted from that. And then, of course, their supervisors will have the ability to ensure that that was done correctly.
Thank you. Through you, Madam President, to the administration, is there already or will there be a standard operational procedure and or guideline instructing the officers on doing said procedure?
Through the president, legislator, if I get it correctly, it's that each officer will be trained on how to do this. And obviously the expectation is they will perform that training and practice, if you will, in front of a supervisor so that we can sign off on it.
Yes, sir. Through you, Madam Chair, to the administration, but will there be a standing operational guideline that that explains and orders or tells the officer that this particular action has to be taken?
Through the president, right, we will prepare a document associated with the policy and how it's to be done correctly, and to ensure that through, if you will, practice and memory muscle, that we'll have the ability to ensure it's been done correctly.
Through you, Madam Chair, to the administration, the purpose of that question is just to ensure that the officers are held accountable, to ensure that they download this information, and that they do not or forget for whatever reason that there is a policy in place that we could go back to hold them accountable to. Moving forward.
Through the president, when this is downloaded, it'll be stored in a cloud. And obviously, as we begin to initiate this process, we'll have close supervision on what is done and double check to make sure that it is done correctly. Obviously, with a new system like this, it'll take some practice and training, and we will be monitoring it very closely.
Through you, Madam President, to the administration, I'm sure that they will be more than capable to do this process. I just want to make sure that we have something in place that can send their operational guideline in place to make sure that if they do not, that we have something to hold them accountable with. Moving forward, reading over some of the notes through you, Madam President, to the administration. I see that obviously the footage could be foiled, but I also see a remark that states that the footage can also be redacted. Can you please elaborate on how and why the footage will be redacted?
Through the president, certainly we would consult with the law department on any FOIL that is submitted to us and review that. And then if with their consultation and expertise, determine what we would redact from a particular download.
Thank you. Through you, Madam Chair, to the administration. I asked that particular question because, of course, any redacted information as a public citizen offers kind of a problem, because we want to make sure that we offer the most amount of transparency that we can to the citizens of Monroe County. With that being said, I will be voting. I would like to explain my vote quickly, Madam President. Will be voting in the affirmative. I believe that this is the right direction and the step in the right direction for accountability. And I thank the administration for beginning this process. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Legislator Dondorfer.
Thank you. Just a kind of a question, point of clarity through you to the administration. These are Axon body cameras that we're going with, or a different company?
Through the president, I'm sorry, it's G-Tech is the company.
Thank you. So through the presidency administration, when these cameras are docked, that docking station not only acts as a charging port for this, but it automatically downloads the data so that the minute that is plugged in, per se, that data gets downloaded to the cloud storage area?
Through the president, that's correct.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Legislator Hughes-Smith.
Thank you, Madam President. Through you, Madam President, to the administration, could you clarify a couple things for me? Is the data owned by the county or by this G-Tech corporation?
Through the president, the data will be owned by the County of Monroe.
Thank you. I understand it's being stored in some cloud. Would you be able to, if not now, provide us some information about the entity that is housing that is the cloud, and what kind of security we are utilizing, or that location is using to ensure the security of that data? How do we know it won't be hacked, in other words?
Can I just ask for a point of clarification for the legislator? So if we're asking for security protocols on how we are storing that kind of data, isn't that kind of getting into a gray area where we may, in an open forum, essentially give out some of our security secrets on how we're protecting that information? Okay.
Thanks. If, yeah. Please just respond in a way.
Through the president, we have dual authentication in regards to this project. We know that we're utilizing, with the assistance of our Information Services Department, enough protocols and security measures to feel confident that we would be able to manage this. Obviously, where the cameras are being stored is a very secure area and have limited access to it by anybody other than a sworn probation officer.
Very good, understood. I guess my question is really, you are sending this data out and it is being stored elsewhere on a cloud. And so if we could, if not now, at some future, not too distant future time, get a better understanding of how we're ensuring, or the company that is the cloud is ensuring that this data isn't hackable.
Through the president, Brendan Fleming, Chief Deputy County Attorney. In this instance and in every instance of an IS implemented technology that uses software as a service or the cloud, our Information Services Department, including the Chief Information Security Officer, do robust vetting of the vendors' cyber security and security protocols to keep in line with best practices and Monroe County's practices and procedures that IS and again, the Chief Information Security Officer are constantly updating and implementing industry-wide best practices.
Very good. Thank you. I appreciate that response. And my last question is, how long is this data stored?
Through the president, stored for 1 year.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you. Any other questions? Legislator Chardy.
Yes, I'd just like to begin with a few questions. Would the priority for the, through the chair to the administration, would the priority for the cameras be given to parole officers that would be involved in search parolees or probation officers, probationers, sorry?
Yeah.
Through the president, if the probation officers were going out to do a search, we certainly would make sure that they had those cameras with them.
Second, would probationers that were being searched under warrants, would that also apply?
Through the president, yes, it would.
And through the chair again to the administration, many times parole officers encounter individuals during these warrants with weapons. Isn't that correct?
Through the president, in many instances, yes.
Also, probation officers doing searches would encounter individuals with weapons, again, through the chair to the administration. Is that correct?
Through the president, yes, it is.
Has, through the chair to the administration, with regards to privacy concerns, has the administration considered Criminal Procedure Law 245 relative to whether or not turning a camera on or off would limit a defendant's discovery rights when he proceeds or she proceeds to a criminal setting or a defense of his case?
Through you, Madam President, Article 245 is for those of you who don't know, is the criminal discovery statute. Obviously, that would be litigated during the course of a criminal prosecution if one arose out of the incident involving that particular probation officer and the body worn camera footage. That's something that would be litigated between the district attorney's office and whatever defense attorney was assigned or retained to represent the defendant.
So am I, through the chair to the administration, am I right to state that if a probation officer, I'm sorry, a probationer were to have a tape that was somewhat cut off or not recording every single piece of that conversation, potentially that could be used to have the entire video eliminated from the defense?
Through you, Madam President, that would presumably be decided by a judge presiding over that case after arguments, assuming they were made by the defense attorney and responded to by the district attorney's office.
Thank you. I have no further questions.
Perfect. Thank you. Any other discussion or questions? Okay, seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Item carries. Next item.
Item number 65, referral 25-0436.BR, resolution authorizing the issuance of $600,000 bonds of the County of Monroe, New York to finance the cost of body worn cameras and less than lethal devices for the probation department in and for said county at an estimated maximum cost of $600,000.
Second.
Moved by legislator Long, seconded by legislator Maffucci. Is there any discussion? Yes, legislator Baynes.
Through you, Madam President, to the administration, can you break down the portion of the 600,000 going for the cameras and the portion going for the less than lethal devices?
Christine Durante, Chief Probation Officer. Through you, Madam President. I did locate that each taser costs approximately $1,100. So we need to furnish every officer carrying a firearm with a less lethal option, which would be the taser. So I would have to calculate quickly how many tasers we need to furnish, which is approximately, I believe 30 to 40 more tasers is what we need. And then we would be on a cycle for replenishing them once their lifespan has reached its maximum. The body worn cameras, I would have to get back to you on an exact figure, but I believe it's the same idea that we want to be able to cycle the body worn cameras when they when their life expectancy has reached its end. So I believe the body worn cameras is around. Actually, I don't want to quote a figure right now until I can get the exact figure for you.
Thank you. Through you, Madam President. Yeah, so quickly looking at the 600,000 and the 30 cameras, if you just bought the cameras, that'd be, I'm an English teacher, but that would be 20,000 per. Obviously at 1,100 for the tasers, the math's pretty quick once we know how many we're buying. So my concern, quite frankly, is with the bonding. And I appreciate your referencing the life expectancy. It's my experience that a lot of technology turns into junk in a hurry. So we have enough experience now with body worn cameras, I believe, to know what their life expectancy is. So could you speak to the life expectancy and also based on what your response, it sounds like they can be reconditioned and put back into use. Could you educate us around the lifetime and of these both items, the body worn cameras and the tasers, please?
Through you, Madam President, I'm learning about body worn cameras as well. So I will definitely furnish you with a complete answer if this doesn't suffice. However, I have learned that the technology is always changing, and it is always getting better. So we want to be able to furnish our officers with the best tools possible so that they remain safe in the field. The body worn cameras, depending on use, we are purchasing 30 of them because of the fact that not all 125 officers that we currently have go in the field at the same time. So we don't need one for every officer. We're trying to be cost effective. The life expectancy, I'm not exactly sure, but I believe it's a few years, up to 5 years. The tasers, it also depends on use, and it depends on whether the technology continues to be supported. The Taser 10, which is what we are looking at, is supposed to be one of the newer models and should be supported through the next, I believe the life expectancy at a taser is approximately 4 to 5 years. However, again, it depends on whether they want to support the technology that goes into that taser. They might come up with a new and better taser. So obviously, we are trying to be as cost effective as possible.
Thank you. Through you, Madam President, can you speak to the term of the bond, please?
Through you, Madam President. So we won't bond for these until after the purchase is made. The general fund advances funds for capital projects. So once everything is purchased, we will probably go out and do a bond. The bond is subject to the useful life of the item that we're purchasing. So if it's 5 years, that's how long the bond will be purchased for.
Through you, Madam President. So would it be safe for me to reflectively listen to your answers and say that we're unsure right now because we're not entirely sure about the life expectancy? And we'll make an estimate of the life expectancy and bond for that term?
So we don't buy, so we'll do the bonding and then the accountants will decide what the useful life is, and that's how we'll amortize the bond.
Yeah, thank you. You know, I spent a long time watching public sector entities purchase technology that ended up getting thrown out because new technology came along very quickly. So, you know, I just have a concern about bonding items that, as you quite accurately say, are antiquated very quickly. So, you know, I would encourage us not to extend these bonds out so we're paying off for stuff we're no longer using. But I appreciate this initiative and I'm thrilled that we're doing it. So I'm explaining by saying I'm voting in favor, but I have a anxiety about over bonding and I wanted to share that. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Any other discussion? Okay, seeing none, all in favor? Any opposed? Okay, item carries. Next item.
Item number 71, referral 26-0023, amending resolution 288 of 2022 as amended by resolution 305 of 2024 to increase the contract with Securitas Security Services USA for security services to be provided at various Monroe County facilities and programs.
Move it.
Moved by legislator Maffucci, seconded by legislator Udelson. Is there any discussion? Legislator Barnhart.
Thank you. To the president, to the administration, can you explain what this $600,000 paid for in extra security services?
Through the president, during the course of the year, we were requested to provide additional security resources to existing sites based upon the volume of interactions or activities that were occurring in those sites that are operated by the County of Monroe, as well as new sites that we were requested to provide security services to.
Through the president to the administration, this $600,000 covers the entire year of 2025, not just the last quarter?
It's through the president, my apologies. It's my understanding that that's for the entire 2025 year.
Through the president to the administration, was there any point in time during the year 2025 when you thought, gee, we should come to the legislature and ask for more funding for security services?
Through the president, with our internal team operating on this particular procedure, we most likely should have come to this body, this honorable body, to add for additional funding. But as a result of some internal related issues, we unfortunately didn't do that.
Through the president to the administration, in the year 2026, if at the end of this quarter you find that you are over budget by X number of dollars, will you come to the legislature and ask us for more money instead of waiting until the end of 2026 and retroactively asking for more than $500,000 to cover security services?
Through the president, we are internally working on a new monitoring process for us to be able to obviously have that information earlier in the year and respectful of what the legislature's request is to make sure that this does not happen again.
Thank you. I don't have any more questions.
Thank you. Any other questions? Seeing none, all in favor? Any opposed? No opposed. Item carries. Next item.
Item number 72, referral 26-0025, authorizing appropriation transfers, amending resolutions 336 of 2022, as amended by 232 of 2024, 342 of 2022, and 338 of 2024, amending award amounts and subaward grant and interagency agreements pursuant to the American Rescue Plan Act, ARPA.
Move it.
Moved by legislator Maffucci, seconded by legislator Udelson. Is there any discussion? Legislator Barnhart.
Thank you. Through the president to the administration, in the current legislative packet that was released today, there's a grant for the FLIPS program for $9 million that we will be asked to approve next month. Can you explain the relationship between the funding that we're being asked to approve tonight, the shift in funding, and this new resolution for next month?
Yes, through the president, tonight's funding is allocating additional ARPA dollars to an existing ARPA project. It is the complex care program administered by FLIPS that has been in front of this honorable body before. That was an incredibly successful ARPA program that the administration alongside FLIPS and both hospital systems went to New York State to lobby for additional funding for. We received that additional funding, and next month you will be considering accepting that funding and allocating it to what will be the newest iteration of this TC3 program, which will expand upon what the work that FLIPS is already doing does.
Through the president to the administration, so is the money we're voting on tonight, the ARPA funds, to restart the program and get it going before this next grant comes in? Is that a way to look at it?
Through the president, yes.
Through the president to the administration, if I understand the way this resolution is written tonight and the one next month, this complex care program is essentially identifying patients that need to be moved to skilled nursing facilities, and we're paying the facilities to take these patients.
Through the president, not exactly. We have entered into a contract with FLIPS to administer a program which identifies cohorts of difficult to move patients based on a set of criteria at all of our area hospitals, and then works with skilled nursing facilities to provide grants, which makes it easier for those skilled nursing facilities to accept additional difficult to place patients.
Through the president to the administration, it sounds like we're paying them to take these patients. I just have another question about the way this is working. So we get this extra $9 million. at some point the funding will run out. I mean, we're putting money into a problem, but we're really not solving it. I mean, and listen, I support what we're doing. I mean, it sounds like it is having a real impact on the hospital system and on these patients. I think that's really good, but there's no end game here unless you get more funding, right?
Through the president, the administration alongside FLIPS and the hospital systems are continually advocating to get additional funding. This additional funding will make different and new investments into our local healthcare system that we hope to be sustainable in making changes to how this works. But yes, this does require additional funding.
Through the president to the administration, next month, I'll probably ask how long you expect the funding to last. So I won't ask that now. I do have one other question just about the Cure Violence program. It looks like we're reducing net funds. And can you just explain what's going on there?
Sure. Through the president, the Department of Health issued an RFP to request proposals related to the Cure Violence model and implementing it. They awarded all of the funding that was requested through that RFP, and there was additional funding that went unallocated because it was not requested. So we are reallocating that money to a different ARPA project to avoid having to send it back to the federal government.
All right. Thank you. I don't have any more questions.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Okay, seeing none, all in favor? Any opposed? Okay. Item carries. Next item.
Item number 73, referral 26-0026, amending resolution 282 of 2025 to correct term of appointment to the Monroe County Soil and Water Conservation Board and confirming appointment to the Monroe County Soil and Water Conservation Board.
Move it.
I'm sorry. Moved by legislator Maffucci, seconded by legislator Udelson. Is there any discussion? Yes, legislator Colby.
To the president, my brother is one of the people on the board that's being appointed, so you clear that.
Yes, thank you.
Got it.
Any other discussion? Yes, legislator Baynes.
Well, I served on this board very briefly and being removed. So I wanted to say how much I enjoyed working with your brother, legislator Colby. And I learned a lot about this group. They pretty much pay for themselves. They do a lot of good work. You know, I grew up in East Rochester. We didn't have a lot of farms there, but we did grow a lot of tomatoes. But I think it's great that my colleague, legislator Mars, has to replace me for my very brief tenure on this board. And I want to just for the record say that the members of this legislature do a lot of work that doesn't show up on the YouTube channel. This particular board, which my colleague for the majority, Legislator Sue Hughes-Smith, formerly served on, it requires significant commitment. And if you have a day job, it's hard to do a lot of these things. So I just think everybody in the legislature, we should probably be a little more vocal about, I know tons of people here doing tons of work, but I'm particularly appreciative of my new colleague, legislator Stefferson, for stepping up and removing me from this board. So that's all I have to say. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, legislator Brain, for serving. Any other discussion?
Do we have a plaque for legislator Baynes or?
We will.
It's back ordered.
We'll issue some sort of certificate or some sort of, any other discussion? All right, seeing none, all in favor? Any opposed? Item carries. Thank you.
Item number 74, referral 26-0027, confirming appointments to Audit Committee, Genesee Finger Lakes Regional Planning Council, Cornell Cooperative Extension Association of Monroe County Board of Directors, and Monroe County Environmental Management Council.
Move it.
Moved by legislator Maffucci, second by legislator Udelson. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Any opposed? All right. There being no unfinished business.
Madam President, I move that we stand adjourned until 6 p.m. on Tuesday, February 10th.
So moves. Have a good night.